Google Cloud. Today we'll be talking about future of media industry with machine learning. Thank you everybody for coming for this discussion. So to begin with, the way we think about applying machine learning to media industry is we think about three buckets. One, we think machine learning can help you innovate, create new experiences. Two, we think machine learning can help increase monetization as well as create new revenue streams for you. And three, it can help drive up efficiencies in your existing workflows to help you reduce cost. And today we'll go through a couple examples of how machine learning can help you do each of these steps, which is just a start to get everybody thinking about how you should be applying machine learning to your existing workflows or as you're looking to move your workflows to cloud. So here's an example all the way from getting the signal, live streaming signal, to being able to go through live to VOD, to cloud editing, to encoding, and dynamic ad insertion to reporting, correct? This is a very typical end-to-end media supply chain workflow. We have examples of how machine learning can help transform every single step in that workflow. And again, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just to give you a sense in terms of as you're thinking about machine learning and how it can help transform your current business. This should give you a sense. Think about every step, all the way from getting the signal to your workflows to being able to deliver experiences to your end users. So we'll go through a couple examples. The first example is just on live streaming side. We can use machine learning to automatically detect ad breaks and find those right moments inside your content where you can show an ad, and also we'll go through an example later which ad to actually show in that particular ad slot. Another example is I want to talk about on the encoding side. We can do better and more smarter compressions using machine learning. So just to give you a sense, just between two pieces of content, one is a talking head versus the other one is a fast-moving sports game. The amount of information that is changing from frame to frame and scene to scene is significantly different between the two. And you can apply different compression algorithms to talking heads versus sports content. Again, combining that with machine learning can help you automatically make those decisions and in result save you in storage costs, make your content more efficient to distribute, and ultimately give better experience to end users. Another example is discovery and recommendations. Being able to really personalize the content being delivered to your users using machine learning, and also kind of determining both their user personas, the specific piece of content that applies to them. Great example for machine learning. Another example I would like to give is video insights. Today, the way your operations folks are actually monitoring your streams is manually going in the dashboard, looking for where there are issues, reviewing on a manual basis overall engagement with the content. With machine learning, you can automate that process to really understand how does the engagement of one piece of content compares to the rest of your catalog, and create similar buckets in terms of this content should perform like this, or this content should be performing differently with different segments. All of that automation, the analysis that humans are doing today, can be fed into machine learning models that can automatically generate a report every day, every hour, every minute as your content is being distributed to the end users, for you to identify those specific moments. Like for instance, machine learning can help identify if there was an error in the content that you were syndicating to your social network, and as a result, you were seeing a drop in viewership for a specific piece of content from Facebook. Today, if you're syndicating to about 80 different networks, somebody would have to manually go in and look at each one of them to actually go find out where the error was and what was the cause of that particular error. So again, you can think about the full spectrum. We'll go through a few more of these examples a bit more in depth. This is just a teaser, just so that folks start thinking about it, because I've been having a lot of machine learning conversations even at the conference and with a lot of large broadcasters across the globe. And a lot of times when people think about machine learning, they think one aspect of all of this. In most cases, machine learning, they're thinking about applying to their workflow. But we really think there are all of these different buckets across your entire media supply chain that you should be thinking as you think about machine learning. So here's an example how we applied machine learning to broadcast, correct? So being able to create a live linear channel in the cloud. So today, if you wanted to create a live linear channel, you need dedicated hardware, you need a dedicated staff. It costs about $500,000 to create one single channel on-premise. You can do that in the cloud at a fraction of cost. As you can see, you can automatically drag and drop your live slots, your VOD, where you want to insert ad, and then you can create a live linear channel inside the cloud. What is really phenomenal is you can apply machine learning and you can create a personalized live linear channel for every single user. Now, think of the math, $500,000 for a single channel. Fraction of a cost for doing it in the cloud. More importantly, say you have 10 million viewers for that piece of for that channel. Now you combine 10 million into $500,000. That is what would it take to actually create a personalized channel in today's world if you were to do it on-premise with dedicated hardware. But with cloud, you can do it at a fraction of cost. You can scale it as your viewership grows. You pay as you go. Depending on the need, or depending on your needs. So again, an example where machine learning is taking a very typical broadcast live linear channel creation example and transforming that into something which is very personalized and unique for your users. So we think of this as innovation, correct? This is something that is not just helping you reduce costs. This is actually creating those next generation experiences that are needed for you to be at that cutting edge and being able to compete with a bunch of other folks in your space. Another example is on the video search side. So we recently announced Video Intelligence API that helps annotate every scene, helps detect scene changes. We can do that annotation at the frame, scene, and the entire video level. And we can automatically annotate descriptions like sunset or a dolphin or a baseball game happening. We can also take it to the next level, where if you combine that with the data, your contextual data, then you can actually do more meaningful, deeper searches. So here's an example where it's on sports content. Somebody's actually searching for "Show me the final touchdown from 2017 Super Bowl Finals." Okay, the catalog has the entire game. Machine learning automatically scans your entire catalog, finds the specific video. Within the specific video, it can find the specific scene, which matches the search query. So again, being a search company, we think about this as how can you apply search to help build new experiences, correct? Given end users have I recently read the stat about most users have about 13 seconds of attention span, and people are consuming content, bite-sized content on mobile. How do you think about taking your long-form content and distributing to this new world of mobile where attention span is limited, users are, multiple pieces of content are competing attention, and in many cases you're on the go and you're like, I only have 3 minutes and I want to be able to see a quick highlight. Now, in today's world, to be able to do this, what you have to do is get an editor, generate a clip. You can create one clip and that's it, correct? In this particular case, it's being done by machine learning, so another user comes in and says, show me touchdown for a player X, or show me the final touchdown. All of that can be automatically done, correct? So the manual world of being able to edit doesn't scale for the scenario where every user comes in, wants to consume the content at their own terms. We think this is innovation. We believe this is going to change the way people consume content on mobile, and this is something that is not 2 years out, but probably next 6 months to a year, where more and more companies out there are going to start adopting it and are going to start applying it. Another example is you have petabytes and petabytes and exabytes of archive data, right? Games from last 30 years, TV shows from last 20, 30, 40 years. Google provides two specific technologies. One is our storage technology, where you can store all of this content in the cloud for a fraction of cost. You decide you can store it in nearline or core line. based on your frequency of usage. Correct. One example is Vimeo. For the long tail content, they are actually storing at the cloud and only pay a fraction of cost for stuff that they know is going to be accessed very infrequently. So that's one advantage of bringing your content in the cloud. But the other big advantage is with machine learning, you can automatically go meta tag all of that content, correct? Last 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years of content that is sitting on tapes in your data centers. You can bring it online and now make it accessible to you, to end users. What we think is going to enable this is also going to enable new experiences where users can go in and they notice, hey, this is an amazing touchdown. How did this happen for this team in X year, correct? And today you have a browse experience, but when you power that with search, users can access that long tail content seamlessly and be able to, machine learning can also identify which users may be interested in that kind of content and be able to deliver to them. So think about both search and recommendation and personalization as a way for you to bring that content which was sitting on tapes, automatically meta tag that and serving it to your users and building this additional revenue stream which didn't exist today. So again, an example where we think innovation is going to continue to push the element. Here's another example where for every frame, every scene inside your video, we can also identify interesting commercial scenes where there is an opportunity for you to insert an ad, and we can identify the commercial tags that go with that particular content. So for instance, we can understand the products and we can understand the brands being showcased and allow you to further monetize that content. Typically, a regular ad versus if you did a branded ad generally performs better. But it's important for branded ads, you are able to identify the right moment in the video to be able to show that particular ad. Similarly, on the product ad side, being able to not only have that the content that you're actually seeing in the video, you are able to browse for that particular content. We have algorithms for finding visually similar products where you can actually find other pieces of, in this particular example, you can find other heels or handbags which are being showcased in the video itself. Again, we think this is twofold. This will both increase engagement with your content as well as it will increase monetization as more users will go and interact with some of these new forms of ads which are very contextual. Here's another example. We take the search example and we take it to the next level, where we not only annotate every frame, every scene, and the entire video, but we start looking at the background audio, we start looking at closed captions, we look at on-screen text and apply OCR, and we start understanding the most interesting moments inside that video. So for example, here's a clip for Chopped Season 1, Episode 3. If the user wants to just see 5-minute highlight for Chopped Season 1, Episode 3, we can automatically go scan the entire video and then identify the most interesting moments where this particular show has like 3 rounds, it's got the start and end. Being able to identify each of those moments, being able to identify where something interesting happened inside the game show, and then creating that into a highlight or a preview. You can imagine other examples for this. A user comes in and it searches on your browse page and says, show me 2-minute highlight for making pasta, and it goes automatically, scans your entire catalog and creates a search results page which has got relevant and contextual thumbnails, both either video thumbnails or image thumbnails, which are giving a quick preview for the users for the content that is going to be visible behind that entire video. So again, we think this particular technology has a lot of relevance to sports content, for regular TV shows, for helping increase better and building more engaging experiences for your browse experience as well. Here's an example. Next, let's switch gears. I want to talk briefly about how we can help reduce costs. So I think I've been at a conference for about 2 days and I've constantly heard from everybody one of the biggest pain points is we need automatic closed captions. Well, Google already has APIs which can help with closed captions, help convert speech to text in about 80 languages. Now, We are at about 90% precision. There is definitely machine learning technology needs to be improved further. But here's an example where you can combine that with an editing tool where it automatically transcribes the text, and then an editor can quickly go in and fix the specific instance of text where it's getting it wrong. There are two benefits of this. One, you didn't have to manually go in and type all of that text, which is the obvious one, but the less obvious one is you can take all those edits and feed it back into the machine learning model. And what that is going to do is it's going to further increase the precision of the machine learning model for your specific use case. Again, we think being able to apply to your specific context is going to further make these machine learning models, which are generic, and make them a lot better. Here's another example. You want to distribute your content. Google can automatically translate that to 100 plus languages. Today, this basically closed captioning plus translation is like a massive task, correctly? You have an army of contractors who are going in and manually transcribing it and then translating it. In some cases, because the process is so manual that you even mismatch the manual closed captions which are combined with a specific video. There are some customers who just stop by our booth and we are saying, like, can you even just detect like this audio doesn't match this video, correct? And that would be a huge win for a QC process. So people spend tens of millions of dollars, especially when you have massive distribution on closed captioning and translation. Machine learning can help automate a lot of those tasks. It's not fully automated, but the example I really like to give is the self-driving car example. It's in the assist mode. It can guide the manual. It can reduce your human labor, and ultimately, in the next couple of years, it's going to get to a point where it's fully automated. But I think thinking about it in terms of combining the manual plus feeding into machine learning models to continue to improve, and getting on that path of being in the cloud, being able to start leveraging these technologies to help automate your processes is going to give you the edge that is necessary for you to be able to compete in this business. Here's another example, content rating. Again, a pretty big problem for a lot of content owners. Today it's a manual process to watch the entire video and identify scenes where there's language, adult language, there is adult scenes, there's course dialogues, correct? A very manually intensive effort. Again, machine learning can automatically scan that your entire video and your entire catalog and identify where each of these scenes are, and then a human person can go review that and make a judgment in terms of what is the overall rating for that content. Machine learning will probably automatically recommend, like, here's the rating, like TV mature or PG-13, but a human can go in and override that. The benefit is, again, starting at the assist step, it will help reduce the labor. The person who's reviewing the content knows exactly where those scenes are, and more importantly, all the edits that he does, like if he changes his rating, again, that feeds into the machine learning model, the model gets better. The other thing I wanted to highlight, a lot of you already have, for machine learning to be successful, you need a huge amount of data. And a lot of you already have that. You have the training data. It's just a matter of taking that training data and applying to the machine learning models so that you can get better results. So at Google, we offer three specific things. One, we offer TensorFlow, where you can go in, if you have the machine learning experts in-house, you can go build your own machine learning models. Take an example from this workflow that resonates the most with you. Maybe closed captioning, maybe content compression, that is very important for you, maybe auto clipping, correct? And you can build your own machine learning models by putting your content into Google Cloud Infrastructure using TensorFlow, which is by far the most popular deep learning library. Or alternatively, if you don't have that expertise, you could also use one of our readily available APIs, which any app developer without having any machine learning expertise can use out-of-the-box APIs. We have APIs for speech to text, we have APIs for translate, we have APIs for video intelligence. This is actually a demo for what the video intelligence API can do on the machine learning booth. There's vision APIs. There's a lot of out-of-the-box work that you can just get. We've done all the hard work and you can actually leverage that. In addition, we also have Advanced Solutions Lab. So if you're a large premier customer of Google Cloud, you can also work hand in hand with Google machine learning experts and build a custom model that suits your specific needs. So full spectrum, all the way from just using out-of-the-box APIs to building your own machine learning model, to working side by side with our experts to be able to build these solutions. In addition, we are building for media specifically. We are building a set of APIs and an end-to-end SaaS application. Anvado, you can learn more about it at the booth. And we'll be taking a lot of these features and integrating both into the APIs and into the SaaS application. So again, you have the choice of, if you have your existing workflows and you don't want to change them, you can think about how to augment that with machine learning, or you can wholesale. If you're on-prem and you're like, I need to move to cloud anyways, let me work with Google and transform every single step in my workflow using cloud infrastructure plus machine learning. That option is available as well. So that was pretty much what I had for today's talk. Thank you, guys.